Hello everyone, welcome to the third lecture of Unit 2. In this lecture, we are going to talk about what is inductive and deductive research and why, which one you should choose. In a nutshell, if you have a general principle, if you have a general theory, and then you test that theory on a specific case, that is your deductive reasoning. And if you have a certain thing going on and then you go and see that what is going on and you develop a theory from there, that is basically your inductive reasoning. So if you have already have a theory, if you already have a hypothesis and you want to test that hypothesis, then you will go for a quantitative research. That means if you already have a theory and you're just checking that whether this theory apply to these particular people or to this particular sector. But if you don't have any theory and something is actually going on, so you go and you start with the data, you collect the data, and then you see that, you infer your conclusions from there, and then you go, and that is basically your qualitative research. For example, the current situation of the COVID-19, the pandemic that happened, initially people didn't know what this is. So they were exploring, okay, what are the symptoms? Okay, what are the differences? What happens? How long does it take? So that was basically a qualitative research. And then they came up with a theory, okay, these are the symptoms and this is how long it takes. And now, but if you talk about the other tests about, for example, if any other maybe a diabetes test, so people already know that what are the symptoms and what are the how long does it take. So from that theory, they're going to deduce that whether you have it or not. So from that hypothesis. Then deduction would generally be defined as driving of a conclusion by reasoning. It's a specific method, inference in which the conclusion about particular follows the necessary from general or universal premises. So as I said, you already have a principle and then you are deducing that whether it's correct for in the particular people or not. In inductive, you form a generalization, you are forming a theory, and you are basically doing a qualitative research. So in inductive thinking, you already have a theory, you develop a hypothesis, then you observe certain people, and then the variables, or the certain people or the certain context, and then you confirm that whether your hypothesis was true or not. Whereas in inductive thinking, we go in the other way around. We observe, then we make up the patterns, then we see that what are the tentative patterns, what are not, what are independent variables, what are dependent variables, and then we form the theory. So in deductive approach, you have a social phenomena, you observe that a theory is already developed, and then you test that theory, and then you either accept it or reject it or you revise it. Whereas in inductive approach, a social phenomena is already there. You collect the data and you see what is happening, what are the trends, and then you develop a theory that how things are working. So if you want to see that, how you are going to choose, you need to see that whether a theory or a hypothesis or certain variables are already there or not. If they're already there, so you will only test that how effective they are, or whether they are effective or not. If you don't have a theory, if you don't have a general principle and some things are going on, so you need to find out the reasons and you need to see why is it happening, how is it happening, and what is going on, then you will need to go for the inductive research. I hope this clears any of your queries. Thank you. This will be the end of the third lecture.